Hi! Today we're going to return to bear country with the Berenstain Bears and the Bully by Stan and Jan Berenstain. If a cub gets beat up, that's usually when he or she vows to make sure it doesn't happen again. One day, Mama, Papa, and Brother Bear were busy in the yard when Sister Bear came home crying. Her face was scratched and dirty and her clothes were torn. "What happened to you?" asked Mama. "Please tell us," said Papa. Brother couldn't believe how beat up Sister looked. Her jumper and blouse were torn, her face and fur were a mess, even her pink bow was drooping. "Did you fall?" asked Mama. Sister shook her head no. "Was there an accident?" asked Papa. Once again, she shook her head no. "I think I can tell you what happened," said Brother. "It looks to me like somebody beat her up." "Beat her up? That's outrageous," said Papa. "Who in the world would beat up a sweet little cub like Sister?" asked Mama. "A bully might," said Brother. That's when Sister Bear stopped crying long enough to get some words out. "Brother's right," she sobbed. "A no good, nasty, rotten bully beat me up, and for no reason." Just the thought of it made her so angry that she started to cry all over again. Mama and Papa helped Sister up the steps and into the house. After a drink of water, she calmed down enough to tell them what had happened. "Lizzie, Queenie, and I were playing tag at the playground when this new cub, a no-good bully named Tuffy, stuck out a foot and tripped me. So I got up and said, 'Why don't you watch where you put your feet?' Before I knew it was happening, it was pow, bam, whammo, and I was flat on my back with this Tuffy character sitting on my chest and rubbing dirt in my face." "Outrageous," roared Papa. "Where's my hat? I'm going over to that playground and—" Mama pulled Papa aside. "You're going to do no such thing," she said. "But something has to be done," Papa said. "Indeed it does," agreed Mama. "But right now we have to take care of Sister." She turned to Brother. "Brother, would you please get me a wet wash—" "Where's Brother?" "Don't know," said Sister. "He was here 1 minute and the next minute he was gone." Lizzie and Queenie were still at the playground when Brother got there. "I've got to do something about a bully named Tuffy," he said. "Where is he?" "Brother," said Lizzie, "I think there's something you ought to—" "Never mind the small talk," he growled. "Just point him out and get out of the way." Lizzie shrugged and pointed to the small building that housed the boys' room and the girls' room. But there was no one there. No one, that is, but a little girl who was coming out of the girls' room. But hold everything. The little girl was wearing a t-shirt that said Tuffy. "You're Tuffy?" said Brother. "Yeah," she said. "Want to make something out of it?" But you're a girl," said Brother. "What did you expect me to be, an eggplant?" said Tuffy. Brother Bear was shocked right down to his very bones. The big bully he was going to clean up the playground with was not only a girl, but a little girl at that, maybe even a bit smaller than Sister. When Lizzie and Queenie came over to watch, Tuffy figured out who Brother was. "Hey," she said, "you must be the big brother of little Miss Pink Hairbow. She got fresh, so I cleaned her clock. Want to make something out of it?" That was exactly what Brother wanted to do, but there was no way he could hit a girl. If he did, then he'd be the bully. It was all he could do to turn her away and leave. "Chicken, just like your sister," yelled Tuffy. Brother headed home, hands in pockets, staring at the ground. Something had to be done, but what? As he passed the school, Brother got an idea. But we'd have to hurry. It was Friday afternoon, and the school would be closing for the weekend. He hoped Mr. Grismeyer, the gym teacher, hadn't left yet. When Brother got home, he was carrying something in a big bag. Instead of going in the front door, he he quietly opened the side hatch and dropped the bag into the cellar. Then he closed the hatch and rejoined the family by going in the front door. "Where have you been?" asked Mama. "We've been having a family meeting." I was just checking out the playground," Brother said. "And no doubt you found out that Tuffy is a girl," said Mama. "We've been discussing the situation and have pretty much decided that the best thing for Sister to do is simply to avoid this awful Tuffy person. But if she still has trouble, we'll report it to the principal. What do you think of the plan?" "It's okay," said Brother, "but Sister's the one that got beat up. What does she think?" "It's okay, I guess," said Sister, "but what I'd really like to do is punch that Tuffy's nose right through her face, then kick her in the shin, then knock her down and—" "Now, Sister," said Mama, "we've been through all that." "Good," thought Brother. "Sister and I are on the same wavelength." Before dinner, Brother passed Sister a note. It said, "Important. Meet me in the cellar at 7 o'clock. The first thing Sister saw when she showed up for the secret meeting was one of Mama's big bags of dried beans sitting on a stool. There was a drawing of a face marked Tuffy taped to it, and Brother was standing beside it holding the bag he had gotten at school. He also had a book. "What's this all about?" asked Sister. "It's about that Tuffy character and you not getting beat up again," Brother said. "Sounds good so far," said Sister. "Mama's bag of beans is a punching bag," Brother said. "A punching bag named Tuffy," said Sister. "Perfect." She gave the beans a pretty good punch. "Not bad," said Brother. "What's in the other bag?" Sister asked. "Boxing gloves," Brother said. "And this book is called The Art of Self-Defense." "Where did you get all this stuff?" asked Sister. "From Mr. Grismeyer. I told him I wanted to do a little working out at home. We've got it just for the weekend. It goes back Monday morning." "Then what are we waiting for?" Sister said. "Let's get started." I don't know how I feel about this. How about you guys? Sister turned out to be a good student of the art of self-defense. With Brother's help, she learned the left jab, the right cross, the left hook, and the uppercut. She also learned to duck, and she punched Mama's dry beans silly. "Well, you learned quite a lot over the weekend," Brother said on Monday morning, "but there's something very important for you to remember. You still have to avoid Tuffy. She's a mean little thing. She was even ready to take me on." "Don't worry," said Sister. "I can still feel where she socked me on the jaw." Sister did a good job of avoiding Tuffy. She avoided her all day Monday and all day Tuesday. But at recess on Wednesday, Tuffy did something so mean and nasty that Sister just had to do something. Tuffy was throwing stones at a baby bird that couldn't even fly yet. "Stop that, you bully," shouted Sister. "You'll hurt that baby bird." "Well, if it isn't little Miss Pink Hairbow," said Tuffy. "You know something? I'd much rather hurt you." Tuffy's not very nice. She rushed at Sister with her hard little fists ready. But Sister was ready too. She had her left out and her right up, protecting her jaw. When Tuffy threw a hard right, Sister ducked, then put up her fist, and Tuffy walked right into it. That quickly, Tuffy found herself sitting on the ground with a bloody nose. And almost that quickly, one of the recess teachers swooped down on Sister and Tuffy, pulled them into school, and sat them on the principal's discipline bench. Sister's mind was a blurry mix of pride that she had protected the baby bird and shock that she was sitting on the principal's famous discipline bench. But she was even more shocked when she saw that Tuffy was crying. "What are you crying about? I only hit you once," said Sister. "I'm not crying about that," said Tuffy. "Then what are you crying about?" Sister couldn't help wondering. What could make a cub as tough and mean as Tuffy cry? The principal tells my mom and dad about this, said Tuffy. Well, I'm going to get in a lot of trouble, that's all. Thought Sister. Here's a cub who's scared and worried. Maybe that's why she picks on other cubs. But Sister didn't think about it for that long. She was too worried about what was going to happen to her. Mr. Honeycomb, the principal, was very strict about fighting. The way it turned out, one of the other recess teachers had seen the whole thing and told Mr. Honeycomb that Sister was just trying to protect a baby bird. But Mr. Honeycomb still thought it would be a good idea for both Sister's and Tuffy's parents to come in to talk over what had happened between their cubs. And that is what they did. Sister, brother, and Tuffy all learned that talking things over is a lot better than fighting over things. I have to say that was a tough story for me because never want to see someone getting bullied, right? That's not good. Being a bully is not good. If you see someone getting bullied, it's really important to tell a grown-up or to tell someone you trust and not get into a fight yourself either. But I'm glad that Sister learned to defend herself so she didn't get hurt when Tuffy came after her. But I just don't like fighting at all, right? Fighting is not great. So it might be a good idea to think about that story a little bit. Maybe if you watch this with your mom or dad, talk to them a little bit about it and about bullies. Because I know sometimes that we all know that bullying is not right and we don't want to have people bully us, just like we don't want to be a bully to other people. But sometimes it's a big thing to think about and know what to do. So make sure you always just know that bullying is not nice and not right. You shouldn't do it, and if you see it happening, you should definitely tell a grown-up. But violence isn't right either, but it's just a hard topic. So I hope you liked the story. And I like it because it makes you think. Something important to think about. And maybe talk to your mom and dad or a grown-up you trust, whether it's your grandma or your uncle or your aunt or whoever you have that can help you think it through and understand it. Okay? So thanks for listening today, guys. Bye.